Hey everyone, Stacey Nelson here, and today I want to talk to you about the voice of your book. So your book has its own independent flavor and texture and character. And what you put into it, the voice with which you write, dictates the voice that people hear and feel. And it's really important that you get this piece above anything else, above what your message is how do I impart who I am and have that be reflected in the eyes of the reader, not so much in the eyes of you as the writer, but is the reader really hearing my voice? So getting that voice right means a little bit of self-exploration, which is yummy and juicy, and I love this piece. When I first started writing Your Inner Counsel, the very first voice that I went through, it was like, well, I'm writing a spiritual book, so I need to have, goddesses, light, love, universe, source, all of the typical spiritual terminology, and I'm going to throw it all up in there, and I'm going to dial it up because I want it to be extra juicy spiritual. And somewhere in there, I was like, I don't really talk like that. It's not who I am. It's me being somebody else's persona. And if I were to look at this as a reader, it wouldn't feel genuine. And it might be beautiful writing, but it's not who I am, and it's not how I want to be reflected in the world. And so I went through, and in the second version, I added a lot more of my stories and my voice, but mixed in there was this voice of apology. Because at a certain point in your book writing process, you have to understand that you're actually an authority on the subject that you're talking about, even if it's authority in your own life. There has to be a claiming of that, of, okay, this is stuff that I work with all of the time, and I'm imparting it to you. And I was really timid with that. I didn't want anybody to look at me as a guru. I want people to stop chasing gurus. So it was very like, oh, I'm sorry, this is my way. This might not be your way. Whatever it is, there was this element of self-deprecation in order to make my reader feel more secure. And all that was doing is making everybody feel less secure. So in the third version, I really got it. I got that this is my truth, and I'm going to speak this. And you know what? It might not be my truth a year from now, 10 years from now, whatever it is, but right now in this moment, this is who I am. This is how I speak, and this is how I'm going to present this stuff into the world in my most powerful and enlightened way. So to get to that voice is really critical. I'm talking with a gentleman right now who's writing a book, and he's got stories and they're fabulous stories, and the concept is amazing, but he's stuck on the voice because the thing that he's like, Stacey, I want to be like, I hand this to a guy and say, here's how you work with me. And I said, that's fine. People will hire you based on your book, which, by the way, I'll do in another video. But for this purpose, do you really want your voice to be, hire me? Read these stories and then hire me. And he goes, well, it's what I want. And I was like, yeah, but that's not your voice. So to dig down a little bit deeper into who he is and what he really wants to do in this world, and what he does very successfully in this world already, is he really takes men like himself who were stuck in the job and all of the trappings, and the fiance he didn't really love, and the money in the car, and he was trapped in those roles when all he really wanted to be was out drumming and creating music and being a part of the self-development world, because it was so amazing to him. And so once we get over to that voice, then all of the I need to get you as a client turn into this really engaging body of work that will actually have men read this and go, oh my gosh, this is me. How can you do this for me? Instead of banging them over the head. And so it's really that change of voice from what you think you should be writing to what you really want to be saying. So in the next video, we'll talk about how to create the money aspects of the book writing, and actually the real story about how much money book writing actually makes, and it's not what you think. So love and kisses. Talk to you later.